Kingdom Hearts is a legendary franchise, but even something so beloved can have its oversights. If you're jumping into Kingdom Hearts 1 for the first time on Steam, or anywhere else, you should know that there are important game mechanics that it doesn't actually tell you. We've gathered 10 of them here, and you might want to watch them all before you even begin your adventure. Kingdom Hearts will start messing with you from the very beginning of the game. Kingdom Hearts tutorial is known as the Dive to the Heart or the Awakening, and you'll have to make a major choice within seconds of starting the story. You will be asked to choose a sword, shield, or rod. These correspond with the stats you might be expecting, but more importantly, they determine when you will unlock certain abilities as Sora levels up. Everyone will get the same abilities by the time they grind to max level, but choosing the shield guarantees that two of the most important abilities, Leaf Bracer and Second Chance, come early. The former lets you cast healing spells without being interrupted, while the latter lets you survive a fatal blow with 1 HP instead of outright dying. Most players will recommend you take the shield for this reason, although it's not required. In either case, you'll also have to give up one of these weapons. Giving up the sword means starting the game with less attack power. Giving up the shield means starting with lower defense and HP. And giving up the rod means starting with less magic power and ability points. Not long after this, you'll be standing on a balcony with Tidus, Waka, and Selphie from the Final Fantasy series. Their questions might sound like a personality quiz, but they also have a huge effect on the game. If you answer mostly with the first choice, you'll be told your adventure starts at dawn or in the morning. Mostly second choice, and it starts at midday or noon. Mostly third choice, it's dusk or dead of night. So what does this actually mean? Well, morning and dawn mean you'll level up faster until you hit level 40, then slow down after. Midday and noon mean an even leveling pace throughout the game. Dusk and dead of night mean faster leveling after level 40, but with a slower pace before that point. This choice is up to you, though for first-time players, we recommend going for faster leveling at the beginning. Kingdom Hearts has an odd difficulty curve that makes the early hours tougher than they need to be in some cases. Let's talk about that a little more. Kingdom Hearts sends you through several sets of worlds, but in many ways, the first 4 can be the hardest. You won't get any healing magic until you defeat Clayton in Deep Jungle, nor will you have much money to buy items and accessories during your first trip to Traverse Town. This does mean you'll have to bear down to get through some of the tough early game encounters, such as the aforementioned Clayton fight or other bosses like Trickmaster and Cloud. Patience will take you far, but you can also give yourself a boost by doing some good old-fashioned grinding. To help with that, Kingdom Hearts includes a combat feature called Tech Points. These function exactly like regular XP, getting you closer to leveling up each time. You may have already gotten a few by accident, but they're rewarded for pulling off special moves during combat. The most common is counterattacking certain enemies, interrupting their own attacks. You'll know you did it right when the Tech Point text flashes on screen. You can also get tech points by hitting enemies with their weaknesses. Anytime you see a red Nocturne, cast Blizzard for free XP. Likewise, you can hit blue Rhapsodies with fire. You won't be able to see every corner or open every chest upon your first visit to any of the initial worlds, so don't get obsessed with any slightly out of reach goodies. However, you should be prepared to spend some time with the game before actually attempting to revisit any worlds. The first reason is because, to be honest, gummy ship missions aren't the most fun or robust part of Kingdom Hearts. The second reason is that after clearing the first ring of worlds and returning to Traverse Town, Sid will give you a Warp G. This allows you to instantly revisit worlds from the menu, instead of manually flying there each time. You will still have to fly to new worlds, of course, and original game clunkiness does mean you'll have to first warp to an adjacent world before visiting a new one, but in either case, the warp drive is a huge time saver. Speaking of saving time, be sure to set your magic shortcuts in the menu. You'll unlock multiple types as the game goes on, and you can set them to 3 shortcuts instead of scrolling through the full list on the command menu. Which 3 you choose are really up to you, but once you unlock Cure, that should be a permanent one. You definitely don't want to waste any time healing yourself in an emergency situation. while you're in the menus, don't forget to equip your abilities. We mentioned earlier how your starting sword, shield, or rod determines the order you unlock abilities, but in all cases, they need to be equipped before you can actually use them. Don't assume that just because you unlock something at a level up that it's automatically turned on. This is because abilities require ability points. You'll unlock more at certain levels, but you have a limited pool to work with, so figure out which abilities you like best and keep those at the ready. Let's talk more magic. Sora will unlock several spells throughout the game, and while they all hail from the Final Fantasy series, they don't work exactly the same as those games. For one, casting Cure can revive a downed party member here. That can really turn the tables if Donald and Goofy go down too quickly. Second, Gravity and Stop are actually very useful against many of the game's bosses. Traditionally, RPG bosses are immune to high-level effects like this, but that's not the case in Kingdom Hearts. There's an infamous clip of one player absolutely devastating the Maleficent Dragon with these two spells. Don't be afraid to experiment and exploit your enemy's weaknesses like that. Magic is also vital for dealing with white mushrooms, a rare but very important enemy in this game. They appear in a few different places, but one of the most common areas is the campsite and deep jungle. White mushrooms aren't hostile, but if you play their game correctly, they'll reward you. If they shiver like they're cold, cast fire on them. If they fan themselves like it's hot out, cast blizzard. If a light appears over their head, cast thunder. If they lie down flat on the ground, cast cure. If they spin in a circle, cast arrow. If they float in the air, cast gravity. Finally, if they hold perfectly still, cast stop. You don't need to have all of these spells to successfully complete their game. Just hit them 3 times with the correct spell to win. Depending on which spells you use, you'll be rewarded with different materials. Those materials are used for synthesis, an important mechanic that the game only hints at. Once you finish Agrabah and unlock Trinity Ladder, you can reach a special room above the accessory shop in Traverse Town. This is the synthesis shop, and here you can use all those random shards, stones, and other materials you've acquired to craft items. The more you make, the more recipes become available. In fact, by synthesizing all 30 items on the list, you'll be able to make Sora's Ultima Keyblade and some special weapons for Donald and Goofy too. Synthesizing is free, so there's no reason not to go for it. And there's no reason not to head over to IGN for more help with the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise. Whether you're a veteran returning to the games, or a newcomer who's giving the series the old college try, you can find all sorts of tips, tricks, boss strategies, and more on our wiki.